DK and EG don't have the hero high up there, but we do see Newbee getting that immediately, and EG replies with 2 teamfight maestros.
Yeah, who also you need to focus sometimes with Doom. So now that Doom needs a refresher, Ben.
Yeah, certainly does that at some point in the game. Probably needs some silences or also Faceless Void to deal with this double threat, though. It's so difficult to 5-man into that.
So a strong 5-man lineup with the Brewmaster and Tide. They're going to be the first 2 picks for Evil Geniuses. Now over to Newbee before we get back into the bans. What do you accompany already in this early phase with Doom against the lineup that you see at EG have?
Well, if you're a Newbee, you really want to get Shadow Shaman, but I think Evil Genius is going to ban it out both games just because it's not a support that they utilize, whereas it's a support that Newbee really utilizes. So I think they just need to give Sun Sheng just a support that he can run around the map and kill people with. He did get an Earthshaker the other game, and again, it's all about early game aggression.
The other pick they've been doing a lot is the Enchantress, which doesn't have as much pushing power as Shadow Shaman when he reaches level 6, but early game, Enchantress can pressure towers a lot and also just help create a lot of space around the map. Yeah,
we've seen Enchantress being picked up and played by Banana, I believe it was, and he's so comfortable on that hero. Yeah, most of the times you see him in the enemy jungle, and then actually putting pressure onto the mid player and also the safe laner. But we'll see where they're going to go. And actually, they're going to get a little bit of push, and it's going to be the Death Prophet. I don't think we've seen. I would never have predicted to see this many Death Prophets in the tournament.
EG right now are going to say, okay, easy. We played against this, and it went pretty well. The Death Prophet from Mushi did everything she required to do to push even the cheesiest ways, going and trying against backdoor with the Shadow Shaman, trying to go into team fights. He did pretty much everything, and every time EG was like, yep, we have an answer. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I think that's the thing. DK tried to be almost too fancy with it. They were trying to backdoor, they were trying to split push. Newbee, they'll be predictable. They'll group up as 5 and go about it a much more stock standard way, and that's something which I think is a much more efficient way to run the Death Prophet in general.
At the same time, if you're grouping out at 5, you have to play against a TIE Hunter and a Brewmaster. So it's kind of following into EG's game. We'll see what happens. In any case, and Death Prophet can clearly clear the Brewlings really, really fast as well. So anything can happen.
Bit of a respect ban there. They're going to be removing Ursa, and then the second is going to be the TA. Ben, what do you see?
I think both of those are excellent Roshan heroes, and Evil Geniuses, they are so good at controlling Roshan, and if there's just Ursa soloing the pit with Brewmaster and Tyler setting up the ramp, you can't go in there. Not with the Doom and the Death Prophet, it's just not going to happen. So Newbee, they don't want to take that risk. They want to be able to secure that first and second Roshan, which is going to be so crucial in this matchup.
Yeah, and now we're waiting for the 4th ban from Evil Geniuses. We look at Newbee, and they need a couple supports. We talked about how the Enchantress was useful. They also brought the Chain as well as last pick. Of course, you don't want to pick it so fast, and again, if you're going to show it so often, so early, sorry. But with Death Prophet and a Doom in your front line to push, if you get a couple creeps ahead, you will be having a scary pushing line.
Yeah, and I think the one deterrent to picking Enchantress is that Tide and Brewmaster both had to gain very tanky, and that's where you want to make sure you have greater burst damage. Either that or you have to be able to ignore the heroes push towers, and that's where a Pugna ban is actually something which Newbee could have maybe fit in to just bring down towers, ignore these tanky heroes. Pugna can take up himself, get the mech, get the pipe for the team, and make it really tricky for EG to hold their base.
And the Sun King coming.
So even more heavy team fight from Evil Genius. So now I think after the Death Prophet pick, you kind of have to go one way or other. You have to go like all out push from this point on, or you just have to back off and be like, okay, we don't want to 5-man, we'll try and go a different strat. But if you pick Death Prophet, you kind of have to go 5-man push. So I think the Pugna ban was really, really good, and there aren't that many great pushers left in the pool.
Do you feel EG have focused like too much on the team fight though? Like
no, absolutely not. I think that's the only way they lose to Newbee is losing early team fights, losing early towers, and not getting to the late game.
As far as their lanes go though, their lane's going to be pretty weak with these 3 melee heroes.
Yeah, I think so.
That's the thing. The Sun King is going to be a roaming support, and because he can stack the jungle, he will get a quick Blink Dagger, he will get a quick level 6. TIE Hunter can always resort to going for Ancient, so even if the lanes will be favorable, or Newbee will get a lot out of them, an Earthshaker, for example, will have a tougher chance trying to get the Blink Dagger himself.
Yeah, you can't go overkill on AoE. You're never like, darn, we had too much team fight. Darn, I had too much damage. That just doesn't happen.
5 seconds.
And also, you don't really. Do you see the Death Prophets like kind of picking up BKBs at all in these games? Because obviously the Sand King stun into Tidehunter stun, these are a huge damage, and you can shut a Death Prophet down, you know, even in the mid game pretty easily, as long as you just get a blink on maybe your Sand King to initiate. And we can only imagine Zai probably playing the Sand King, so he plays that really well and gets a decent amount of farm from the jungle, as well as takes over some lanes when he can.
I really think on it's who's the aggressor. If it's a Doom initiating with Blink and Doom, and then Death Prophet just ults in and follows up, then you don't need a BKB. But if you're on the defensive and you're playing from behind, you have to get a BKB.
I mean, in this case, the cores will have to go there, but also the Earthshaker will have a very crucial. It seems like every single game we're saying the same, but the Earthshaker has to stop the Sand King from initiating, has to disable the Blink Dagger to Tidehunter, maybe just get a stun on the Brewmaster if he blinks and claps. A lot of Brewmaster just blinking, clapping, ultimate, and that second that you get because of the clap is enough for a stun, for a silence, for something. Again, that Prophet silences Brewmaster and Tidehunter, and EG kind of loses the team fight. So Earthshaker, positioning, very, very crucial, landing those stuns, the most important thing.
Oh, Naga Siren going to be picked up here for Evil Geniuses, and everyone in the house is happy, apparently. But Naga Siren, how does this fit in for you, Ben?
It's the RTZ hero. He used to play Naga Siren and Ember Spirit in the previous patch, and now it's kind of evolved into Razor and Tinker, but they can go back to it. Naga Siren, again, you're not going to win late versus this lineup, so I'm not sure if they should have gone for so much late game. I thought they could have gone for a more mid-game oriented hero like DK or something of that nature.
Well, it's a very greedy pick to have in the mid lane, especially when your lanes are as weak as they are, and that's what Newbee are going to punish. They picked Lich, which is one of kind of the best heroes to actually punish weak lanes. You can deny a lot of experience from wherever you want to go, and essentially make sure all 3 lanes you've got heroes farming. Mid lane, you generally kind of match up fine. Your safe lane's fine, but Lich in the off lane with whatever hero you want, just to pull the wave back, even just 1 or 2 denies, helps out a lot.
Yeah. And it's a Morphling ban is going to be the last ban for EG. They know that Newbee needs a kind of safe lane carry, a way to avoid that Naga Siren to dominating the game if it gets past the 40-minute line mark. And the Morphling is actually one of the good ones because his damage potential is so scary that he can pretty much do whatever. But at this point, Newbee, they will have to be thinking as well, we need to ban the last support. Because unless Tidehunter is a support, which we saw they didn't care much about, something that PPV can get here can help dictate the tempo. And EG, with 4 melee heroes, they will need a support that really, really makes a difference.
Yeah, I'm looking at this like, what is it? Like a Bane? And like even just going back to your vanilla Crystal Maiden, it's...
Coddle. Gives mana, pushes the team fight.
I mean, Newbee, in my opinion, definitely look like they could be taking this game early just off the strength of the lanes. If they get ahead and there's no room for Evil Geniuses to breathe, if Newbee pick up a final hero that actually has and helps with getting on top of those towers in those early team fights before Sand King really comes online, you know, Brewmaster in a big way, it could be their game to take. But of course, Evil Geniuses, that Naga Siren, it's still, even in the mid game, if it doesn't have a great time, the mid game setup, you know, with the sleep into Sand King, Tidehunter, and Brew, if you want to use it offensively and use it at the start of the fight, that could actually just be your combo that you need to take a big
that is a greedy support.
It's greedy, but it works well with the Naga Siren.
And the Sand King as well.
The song's set up into an arrow, like you know Newbee going to be wanting to group up, push down towers, and you haven't got a good line. I mean, you've got great team fight, but the song can set it up, but it also sets up the arrow as well as the epicenter of the rabbit. So guaranteeing a 5-second arrow on a key target with the song is actually a really powerful tool that can just win you a team fight right off the bat.
Yeah, I think the Sand King Mirana is a very old school duo. Works very nicely. Newbee, what are they going to pick as their 1 now? Are they looking for like a pusher like Luna, or are they going for something more late game?
Well, you were just saying there's never enough team fight. I think at this point Newbee is like, I think we kind of have too much team fight and no way to avoid it. If the Naga Siren and they start playing as 5, we don't really have a way to just go around. The Nature's Prophet is still available.
But you could also go like Lone Druid. Can you do that on a...
Yeah.
One?
Or they could lifesteal it if it works. TI4.
A good base siege, like having the magic immunity, being able to build into Deso, Armlet, Assault Press. It's good for just sieging the base in general.
Yeah, typically does pretty poorly versus Tidehunter and Naga Siren though. I mean, Lightstealer did fall out of favor for a reason.
All right, guys, we're back on the panel MMR again. I've got your scores from previous. Well, I'm not going to tell you. So who's going to take the first game and why?
I'll say EG. I think the Naga Siren pick, the Song of the Siren is just going to be incredibly difficult to counter, and Newbee has to execute perfectly to win this game.
I think EG, because Newbee is not going to be able to push fast enough for Naga Siren not to come online.
All right, God's final word.
I think Newbee just to be different.
All right.
I don't want to agree with. Every time I've gone against them, I've won. So that's the key right now.
Well, we're already into the game, so let's send it over to our commentators and see who will come off strong of the first match of our winner bracket finals between Newbee and EG.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for Newbee versus EG, the final match of day number 1. I'm LD. I'm joined here by Cinder. And Sind, EG looked really good after that first best of 3. And I actually think this is a pretty scary draft to give away to them as well.
It's as close as EG can get to their comfort zone, I think. And that's after watching the 2 previous games where they also had some great EG picks. But I think this is the kind of strategy that EG has had great success with going into the event, or leading up to TI4 in general. Massive team fight. The Naga Siren for Arteezy, and just, you know, if you're just looking at it from a strategic point of view and you're Newbee, what does your lineup want to accomplish? They want to try to win the lanes with Lich, and then they want to try to push down towers. Pushing into EG's lineup is an absolute nightmare. It's almost impossible to find an opening. It's pretty much mandatory that you doom the Naga, because else they just turn around on you with Song of the Siren and beat you down.
And if you do that, there's a Ravage you can counter-initiate, there's the Panda Split. If they give the Sand King a Blink Dagger level of farm, he'll have that as well. And with that being said, the horn sounds, we get underway. We can run through the teams quickly here. We've got Sangsheng on the off-lane Earthshaker. Xiaowei will be playing your Doom. Looks like they're going to dual lane to start, probably do a Fissure block to draw this lane back a bit for him. And we're going to see something mid that a lot of the Chinese teams have been favoring recently, which is the Lich dual lanes. We saw this a lot from Vici Gaming. They prefer the Morphling Lich. The Morphling was banned, I think, a very smart ban by EG. And Banana on your Lich, Hao on your Lifestealer. They are potentially setting up here mid. Nazai's going to back off. And that does leave Mu on your safe lane Death Prophet.
Yeah, and for EG in the top lane, they will be having Mason on the Brewmaster, joined by PPD on the Mirana, Zai, Sand King currently with an Invis Rune. Arteezy will be having a little bit of a tough lane here, mid Naga Siren against 2, and finally Universe in the off lane on the top.
Yeah, so we're looking at an off-lane Tide, just 1v1 against the Death Prophet for now, and Mu actually started boots first, something we generally don't see on the safe lane Death Prophet. If anything, you normally go for a fast passy, so when you want to push, you can, but Universe is not going to be under quite as much pressure as what he otherwise would be.
I think Mu's plan with this build might be to get phase boots as fast as possible and try to dominate the Tide by just attacking him down, but with Tide maxing out, Kraken Shell and Anchor Smash is still going to be a pretty tall order here, but...
It's an off-lane Tide, yeah. So he's probably getting his levels unless you commit a full tri-lane to shutting him down.
Now, just looking at this, I want to finish off my thought on the strategy.
Top lane, we're going to go on Xiaowei.
Actually,
the arrow comes through as well. This could be first blood. Will the body block be there? No, he gets off the Scorched Earth.
Okay.
Xiaowei, though, it's a taste of what could come. That was only 2. Mason's just farming at the tower while that happens.
Yeah, they're giving the Brew farm priority here, which makes a lot of sense. I think Mason generally has a pretty high impact with Brew in the games he has it on the safe lane, so it's a great call in this game. And just for the overall strategy of EG here, they want... The way their strategy is built is that they have the superior team fight, so the enemy team is going to have a really hard time fighting into them. And then they have the better late game carry. They have the Naga Siren, who pretty much exclusively in all 60-minute plus games just wins. That's kind of how it goes.
I feel like the most telling game to me was when we had it was in the Star Ladder America Grand Finals to see who would go to the main event, and you had Quakefoot on Tinker for Team Liquid. I think it was Game 5 actually, against Arteezy's Naga, and Quakefoot played absolutely magnificent, like one of the best Tinker performances I've ever seen, even including this event. And then they just got Naga. There were some great arrows by Mace. I'm not doing the rest of the team justice, but it wouldn't have happened if there wasn't Naga on the opposing side. The hero is, you just don't want to face it late. And with that being said, they're going to try to go early and on Arteezy. Do they commit to this one? They've got open ones here as well. He's going to mirror image to remove that, and still Hao keeps on chasing. They have a Frost Blast in 1 second, but they need the vision for this. They're committing fully. Banana's now taking the tower, and Arteezy's bottling up. Oh, this could go bad very quickly. There's your Frost Blast, but they need more follow-up, and Hao comes back in. Arteezy now, well, he's got the bottle. and it'll be okay. He's really baiting them, and while that happens, there's a rotation from Universe, but Sangsheng will block him off with a fissure, preventing any further aggression. Great bait by Arteezy, though. Almost got him a first blood.
It's very hard to kill the Naga, even with a lane like Lifestealer Lich. Naga just with the 6 base armor and the high movement speed of the hero, it's very hard to bring it down with any dual lane in the game, I feel. And like you said, Arteezy trying to play a really nice bait there. Almost got the kill, but if nothing else, he at least secured himself some space. The Lich pretty much forced out for a while. Lifestealer had to use his salve, I believe, and Arteezy is getting a lot of CS off of that. And they've also rotated in the Mirana now to effectively play a dual lane here.
And there's really no great hero to carry a bottle in this dual lane mid. When we see dual lanes mid, usually somebody can use the runes or at least benefit from a bottle. For example, the Morphling Lich. Morphling can definitely use that. And it means that you can control the runes, you can also get ahead experience, and they're not quite able to do that. So Arteezy can just regen up, and they may have to actually go base or start ferrying in some. For now, they're fine, but the next few Riptides are going to put them into dangerously low HP. And now, the clash for the 4-minute rune. Well, not much of a clash, it just one-stop. An arrow, and now he can grab it. How's
he took
no! Oh no! Straight to the dome. How's the trouble? He has rage. No stick charge at all. Well, no,
I got
not
fucked by his
good.
teammate!
Now the
the Fisher!
What a turn! Arteezy now on the run. Xiaowei giving chase. Do they have any follow-up for this one? No mana for Frost Blast. And now Banana's in the river. He could take this arrow, just barely skirting it. In comes Zai. It's a melee, an absolute bloodbath in the river, despite nobody dying. Everybody's on trouble. Meanwhile, Bot. Mu finds the first blood. He dives the tide, cleans him up. And it's those early phase boots you were talking about, Sinner. They really make the difference. He just kept on running him down, right-clicking him, and eventually he got off that one extra Crypt Swarm to secure the kill.
And it's very, very unusual for Universe to lose a one-on-one lane, or, not to lose a lane he should lose, which I think he should in this case, but dying. He's generally very good at not overextending and exposing himself, but Mu gets the better of him this time, and that's going to be a great start for the Death Prophet, who in my opinion might be the most important hero for Newbee to actually get a good start on, since if they want to try to push these towers, the Death Prophet really needs to be pretty much ahead in order to not just get completely crushed in these AoE team fights.
My concern is they've done absolutely nothing to slow down the Sand King at all. Zai is already level 4. Now we saw earlier today in the first match versus Vici Gaming versus Newbee, Xiaowei almost single-handedly shut down 2 supports with his Nature's Prophet. But as Doom, you really can't do anything to the Sand King. So Zai gets free farm, and now mid they try to go. Arteezy though, no mirror image actually. Are they going to commit to this? It's a bit too far to dive. But, I mean, you're talking about wanting to push and take early towers, and at the rate we're going, Zai's looking at a Blink Dagger, maybe a 9-minute, 10-minute blink. How do you go on that?
I do not want to be Newbee looking for team fights in this game the moment Sand King and Tide have Blink Daggers. I think it's almost impossible. The only real counter I can imagine is getting a lot of BKBs on Newbee so they can actually force it, and while the BKBs are up, get some sort of tower pressure in. But Lifestealer will probably not want to go for that, and Rage has a pretty short duration, and even then, EG can still pull off some sort of a fight by using the Brewmaster's Plate, by using Song of the Siren, and just isolating one of the BKB heroes and bringing it down. So it is very difficult for Newbee. At the very least, their lanes are going pretty okay so far. But, oh, that arrow almost clipping Lich here in the mid lane. But I don't know, do you have like some sort of really good plan right now if you're Newbee? What are they thinking? What's their game plan? Because I feel like EG are in a great spot already 6 minutes in.
It seemed like they wanted to pick a partner for the Lich, something that is more of like a carry that can farm the lane and pairs well with the slow. Morphling was banned. I think that's the ideal hero, and that's why we saw EG ban it. It's been run a lot that duo this tournament, but I don't know if the Lifestealer is that great of a partner, because you're still looking at Anchor Smash that's going to be a nuisance from the net, and if he ever rages, you can just Song and focus him down. So it seems like they're just not committed to any one strategy. It's a little bit of push, a little bit of gank, but
oh, Arteezy almost again.
He's winning this fight in one. I mean, he's had help, but at this point, he's 1v2.
He's able to put a lot of pressure out on Hal because he just knows he can always mirror image off.
And they have Psalm now Sin. This could be a big gank mid.
I believe it is.
Or is it bottom?
Possible. Is it possible to do Song into arrow so that Lifestealer can't rage before the arrow lands?
I think if it's on top of him when you end the Song, then there's no opportunity to rage. But if it's just slightly off, you can rage. Yeah, I believe that's how it works. Well, either way, EG or smoke. They're actually not getting
Oh, how?
mid lane, and now they're going in RTZ, but he just songs, and
Radiant's
it's only
middle
how it can
tower is
chase.
under attack.
But they now know that Song's on cooldown, and they might be able to go back in with the Doom. Xiaowei waiting for the backstep. The Director's on moving straight onto RTZ. He goes. The supports are engaging bottom. Meanwhile, they'll find the ES, but the real kill is made. If they kill up RTZ, this is a big turn for Newbee. You've got to slow down that Naga, but they're actually getting juked. They get fogged. He gets a knife up to Roche. Will they get the last hit? Big Daddy Roche secures it, and EG also connects. They did end up killing off the ES in the woods. What an unfortunate turn of events for Newbee, and great jukes by RTZ.
Yeah, all of Newbee went the same way. That's the kind of situation where you have to just split. Send 1 or 2 heroes top, 1 or 2 heroes bottom. But in the heat of the moment, it's very hard to communicate that and execute it properly, so
Dire's
can't really
middle
fault them
tower
for it.
is
Just
under
great
attack.
play from RTZ.
Sin, we're looking at double blink. Zai
Radiant's
almost has
top tower
epicenter,
is
and
under
he's level
attack.
5 with 2,000 gold. Panda's already got his blink. It's the team fight's already here, and we're not even 10 minutes in. This is
Radiant's top
very
tower is
concerning
under
for Newbee.
attack.
I think their goal here is to try to find more pickoffs like the one they did in RTZ and hopefully get the kill the next time instead of having Roshan grabbing it. But they have to try to spread out the map so the team fights don't happen. But even then, Newbee don't have the best split push lineup. I like Doom a lot for this type of lineup where you can get pickoffs left, right, and center because he can always set you up for a gank with any sort of support. But the question is it going to be enough? They have to lock down RTZ long enough for him to not get a timely Radiance, and then they need to turn ganks into towers, not just brute force 5, because I think they lose those every time.
Maybe if they get a blink, I mean, is there anyone who's going to farm some sort of initiating item this game? Because you run lifesteal, you really like to have a good infest vehicle, but I mean, it's a Doom rushing a mech for Xiaowei, so he's not going to be the one who starts. And actually, Mason is thinking about a potential split here. He's really driving Xiaowei off the way.
Doom is ready in 3 seconds. They have Fissure as well. They could actually choose to turn here on Mason,
But there is...
I was thinking about it for a moment.
Got to be careful. Zai actually has blink. He's got a smoke. They haven't seen this one yet, and they're already setting up bottom. So, well, it would have been a really good time to go on the brew because they're nowhere near this top lane. But I guess they don't know. They don't have that much vision towards the top side of the map, so they play it safe.
Dire's
And
middle
meanwhile,
tower
EG
is under
gets
attack.
aggressive.
Mason's going to TP down toward bot. They will smoke up and perhaps try to turn a team fight into a tier 1 tower here. Not too much mana on Mason though. He can only use the split, not the clap first, which could be a problem for them. But maybe they're just looking for the gank and not the tower, then it doesn't really matter. Or maybe they just simply flat out find no one.
I'm looking at Newbee's vision right now, and they actually don't see a single hero on the map except Universe bottom, and he's really posting up for this stage of the game. Do Newbee know? Oh no, maybe not. How gets caught? It's a burrow that initiates, and the arrow follows up. He never gets the raid. An easy kill for EG. And Big Blue just keeps on rolling.
And another rune going to go EG's way here as well, the haste. Not sure who's going to pick it up. Looks like it's going to be Zai. No bottle here, just taking the rune and running down.
They haven't used
And actually now
anything big.
Moon might be in trouble.
They're doing this in without a split or a ravage. If they want to drop it, Newbee just can't take that fight.
Yeah, just showed himself again. There goes Zai!
And he goes in with the burrow to start it. They're going to force out a triple teleport rotation. And EG say, great, we're just going to back. Nothing really wagered here. And all they're doing really is buying time for RTZ. They've now put him top lane. He's up to 1,200 gold. And
Dire's
Newbee got to
top
do something
tower
off of
is
this. They're going to
under
look to push in. And that, if they do it, could be right into EG's open arms with everything ready to go. Song's ready as soon as RTZ gets mana. The bottle's coming back out now, and he can TP in and set up for everything. The Ravage, the Epi.
Radiant's
I think
middle
Newbee are
tower
walking
is
into
under
a
attack.
trap here.
If they try to go for this push, it could go very, very wrong. Like you said, RTZ should be ready for this. The Death Prophet ultimate will come out.
They
Find How in the river. They find the Life Stealer, and now the Epi comes through, but he will range it off, and then looks to turn. This might be a kill. There's no mana actually on Zai. He can't go inside Sandstorm. Oh, just gets it. Just gets it at the final hour. But the
Radiant's
Fissure,
top tower
too
is
late.
under attack.
He's already made it play out, and now they go back in. They find How once again. He's got an infest. Can he find a vehicle? Get into Xiaowei. No! Xiaowei gets caught by the arrow, and it's a beautiful Ravage from Universe. Connects on everyone. 3 caught out. They cycle on the ES. They're actually leaving him because they really want to kill the Doom. And now the ES heads to the right. There's nothing to trap Sanction off. He can even Fissure if he wants. He's going to make it out too.
Wow, that turned out really well for
And while
Newbee.
that was all happening, they also lost the Naga. Killed off
RTZ
by the
got
Death Prophet.
soloed by Moo because of that Yule Scepter, so...
My
Wow.
goodness. Well,
So they got the tower. They got 2 kills for 1, I believe. And one of them was RTZ in the top lane. Oops. That, you know.
Calm down.
A little bit of a slip of a finger. I'm tripping here.
you're doing fine.
You know. little.
If
Anyway.
they can kill Arteezy, that is really crucial.
Yeah, that was a very big kill. And the reason this all started off was actually EG chose to initiate in the river. They went for the greedy kill, I would call it, on the lifestealer. They could have let him run into the bottom lane and maybe tried to teamfight, but they wanted to go for the gank, and it actually ended up turning against them. So Newbee are going to be really happy with that.
And the Death Prophet is gargantuan. 82 CS leading there, has the tower to her name, and is now at 6k net worth. And they may just keep on pushing on the back of this. The mech's got to be coming soon. In fact, I believe completed now on Xiao8 as it comes out on the courier. And they can go for towers. Maybe with the mech and a farm Death Prophet, EG are just going to have to wait a little longer to engage. If they get off their combo right, which PPD is searching for with this arrow, it's going to connect.
Oh.
Tails move, but they're so afraid to go in because of just how big Moo is right now that they won't hit.
And Newbee has managed to accomplish a lot in the last 5 minutes. I think this has been really good from them, getting 2 towers here. The moment you reduce or you take away the map from Naga Siren, she gets a lot less scary. We've seen it in plenty of games during the group stage where if the team with Naga is leading on map control, they just tend to win the game. If the team with Naga is falling behind on map control, yes, she can make a comeback, but it's easily the way to counter out the hero. It's not about ganking her a lot, it's about taking away the map so she can't split farm, and right now they're doing the exact right thing.
It also means she doesn't necessarily get level. Oh, arrow searching mid, and Moo dodges it. Well, nicely done with the Yules. Very calm and collected, but here comes Zai. We're connects, and now they look to go in on How. Doom thrown out on PPD. It's just the Mirana they've gone for, and I think they're going to get the kill. They do. Chopped up. Xiao8 makes short work of that, and Newbee retreat once again, finding the openings. But like you said, it is about the Naga, and Arteezy getting closer to the relic. 2,100 gold. Oh no, they go back in the woods. Might have a fight. Now Zai's going to retreat. He's just trying to create space here for Arteezy. Did he cancel a TP? I'm not sure if he did.
I don't think so. This is a very late relic by Arteezy standards, by the way, so they've still managed to accomplish a lot here. He will TP out. The tower will fall to the siege unit here, so well played by Arteezy to not expose himself.
But I want to follow up on your point about the Naga not having map control. The one thing that we also see that happens a lot is Naga make it her farm because of the illusions having gradients, but she often doesn't get levels. So you might not have the level 3 song, which gives you a 1-minute cooldown and allows you to just constantly use it to reset. So that's the other thing that if they lose map control could really hurt them as we approach the mid game.
Universe just bought 2 blink daggers.
Did they smoke under the sword? I think it was just on the other side of the tree.
Tower is under attack.
So they do have the blink available. Every ultimate is available on both sides, apart from actually Death Prophet and Doom 30 seconds off. I thought they were coming up right now, but a little bit of a timing window. But EG won't be finding anything here. You've been playing it very calmly here. Will perhaps look to push another lane. Wow, by the way, Moo is getting so damn big. He's got Yule's almost soul booster here. I don't think it's enough, though. If the teamfight breaks out, he's still going to get one shot, but...
I mean, the Death Prophet is big, but we've seen so many Naga games where the other carries like 2-3k gold ahead, you lose one fight, and suddenly Naga gets 2 towers, takes a Roche, has a new item, farms, the jungle and 2 lanes on top of that.
And the impressive thing about this for me so far from Newbee is that I haven't really felt Lifestealer's presence at all in the game yet, apart from being a sponge once where it set up a counter gank. He's been bait. He hasn't got an assist yet, and he hasn't really done any significant tower damage. So the impressive thing is they've managed to pull this off with Hal being not that big of a factor just yet. So when Lifestealer starts coming online, and he's actually one of the heroes, it could go both ways with Lifestealer. You can Song of the Siren, and then if he's in rage and he gets caught with the ensnare, you just bring him down. But then on the other hand, if Song is already used, he can actually counter-initiate. That might have been the reasoning for the pick, was that, well, if they want a Song, at least we have Lifestealer who can rage and go on a target. And that target would be Arteezy, but the Song is there.
Too quick.
No counter initiation available. He's
just going to run his way out. And Xiao8 doesn't actually have a blink dagger. If he did, they could have gone for that anyway.
Yeah, better dive the tier 3 at 16 minutes. Why not?
He's got no TP, right? I mean, how often does that happen with a Naga? That's a rare opportunity, Sin. Yeah, but you are going into the Ravage in the split. They're not going to chance it. They'll just take a tier 1, but this is where EG can look for their trade. So push in mid and the push in bottom.
This is not a good trade at all for Newbee. They failed to get their gank. They just used Song of the Siren, and now they're going to lose 2 towers for 1. Almost. Okay, Hal is going to show up in the mid lane. So they will get a 1-for-1 trade here. I think this favors EG overall, though. They need to get out on the map.
Trades are good for them right now. And they're
That's
just
the
fighting
relic,
time.
by the way. He's going to get it after 1 creep here.
To me, this is a very big item send, and I'm not sure if you agree, but they get a blink on the Doom.
It's huge.
And now I feel they can actually jump Arteezy and just kill him before he can even Song.
Now they have the Lifestealer vehicle too, which was what they were lacking. So it's not just the blink Doom, but it's the fact that they can actually get Lifestealer in. And like I said, he hasn't really been that big of a threat in the game so far. Now it suddenly is.
Under attack.
So,
But EG are just making such good trades. They go into mid and they're going to take a tier 1 unopposed. And they've already used the Ghost just to threat the tier 2. End of the day,
Radiant's middle
pretty much the same goal. So EG, like you said, trading really well and above all else, just buying time for our team.
I think the one problem with this though is that
Dire's
losing
top
these two top towers, their jungle is going to be dangerous territory for Arteezy now. So even though they get a little bit on the Radiant side, I would still say this overall favors Newbee just because of the importance of the towers for this game. Controlling the Dire jungle is going to be absolutely huge here. But what EG could do is they can just start playing around the Radiant side of the map, but they need the vision for it if they want to play Arteezy down there.
Yeah, speaking of vision, Newbee has got so much of it. They spotted up that smoke gank earlier. They've got an observer ward here and one up here. So they see pretty much the entire Dire jungle, and they've basically cast a net. So if you ever try to walk in through any of those choke points, you're walking past wards unless you smoke. And now Xiao8 makes his move down south. He's going to see Mason here in a second. It is daytime, but a quick blink away. Universe can do the same, and, well, they're not going to chase that one. So now Arteezy, he knows this jungle's safe, and he'll go back to farming there.
Well, it's turning into a little bit of a stalemate right now with the tower exchanges and no fights happening. You know, we have to favor the Naga team for that.
Automatically. It's not to say that the Naga can't lose this, but the Naga team wants this to go late.
Yeah.
And Newbee doesn't necessarily.
Most definitely. So if I'm Newbee right now, I'm looking for the smoke with Doom and Lifestealer going for a kill right now and turning it into something more than just the kill itself. So if they can find a gank in the bottom half of the map, maybe they can take the tier 2. If they can find it in the top half of the map, perhaps they could set up for the tier 3, but at the same time, EG are doing a great job pushing out the lanes.
And they're searching for it now. Arteezy actually just picks up his Radiance, so even if he dies here, he's going to have that, but they will find him. The stop misses. He gets Song in 1 second. Can he get it off?
Oh,
no,
the timing.
It's too soon. Arteezy, though, has at least completed the Radiance, and the Illusions can start forming the woods for a little while, but they'll find the kill here on the Naga. 1 second lead, man. Dota, it's not a game of inches, it's a game of seconds.
What a sniff gank by Newbee.
Well, I guess the question is, if you're looking at Newbee's draft, we've been saying EG are going to have this if it goes late enough. What should they be doing? They have some aggressive wards, so they just keep that up, keep on going for smoke ganks. Should they be threatening a Roche? Like, if you're in Newbee's position, what is your play right now?
That was the play. The problem is the play they really...
Oh, yeah. See ya.
He's gone. But Mason could be forced into using his ultimate or a TP here. No, he's actually going to go to PPD instead. Moo might pursue. No. Gives up the chase. So what Newbee need to do, that Doom kill on Arteezy is great, and it does delay him a bit, but I'm looking for a bigger collateral for them. So if they find a Doom fight around the Roche pit and they get Roche, or they find a Doom fight around the tier 2 bottom, or they find it closer to the enemy tier 3 top, so maybe they can start doing some tower damage. That kill in itself is great. It delays Arteezy a bit, but it's not enough yet. They definitely need more than that. A 2,000 gold lead in a 20-minute game against Naga doesn't cut it.
And not
really
just
doesn't.
Naga. As the analysts discussed at length, all of its team fight.
Yes.
So much great follow-up force zone and so much great counter initiation for if the Naga ever does get caught in a later game situation where she's near her team. And, well, for now, Newbee are just kind of, I wouldn't say relaxing, but they're just pushing out lanes. That's pretty much what they've been forced into. And they begin to play the Naga's game more and more. Zai preps bottom lane. He's going to go with an Epi now on the Doom. And he finds Xiao8, but it's their follow-up to allow this to work. Arrow is dodged, and now they can turn it. They've got a Doom at the ready. They'll cyclone up the Sand King. He's going to take a little damage. Yep, there's your stop.
A lot of damage.
And Zai will
Very much damage.
Now top. They dunk Arteezy. Can they kill him off? He gets zoned through this, but there's raid. There's no way out. They get the Naga. That's the big kill.
If they keep executing these skirmishes and avoid the big team fights from EG, they're definitely getting towards a situation where they could start pushing the base. And we're going to keep returning to that because I simply cannot imagine with how the drafts look for the two teams that Newbee want to go late game. So all of this is not a way for them to secure their late game. It's a build-up to an eventual push that will be coming at some point relatively soon.
Maybe they'll prove us wrong. Maybe your Earthshaker is going to get an Ags over a Pressure Chivas. It could happen soon. If they wanted it to go late, I feel like we'd see more Midases from Newbee as well.
Yeah, I agree.
And we're not seeing really any at all. Aside
Probably
from
one
the
on Lifestealer,
yeah.
which I think is a good call. He's one of the best Midas carriers in the game. Actually benefits a lot from the attack speed. Many of the heroes we see getting the Midas get it strictly for the, for the economy.
Yeah.
But I mean, after all, it is an item that gives 30 attack speed, so if you have a hero that benefits from it, it's a lot better on that than many others.
If Newbee want to end this game, I'm starting to feel they're going to need some BKBs here. Your Doom's up to 2,400 gold. Moo's actually building towards the Shivas, and he does have the Yules to allow him to dodge some of these stuns, but there is a lot of AoE and just a lot of nuke damage. The Radiance is magical as well in nature, so...
Oh, this ward right here doing work for EG. They're getting a lot of intel about what's happening right now.
It's giving them intel, but can they do anything with that intel?
Well, Song
That's
is
the
ready.
question.
MP in 10, he is mid. Arteezy does have a TP. He can precast Song and TP in.
Yeah, and that could be scary, but Newbee
Newbee are splitting well.
Chow8's
They are
up to the
splitting
north.
very
He's
well.
looking for a jump here with the Infest Bomb. Can't find the opening.
Dire's
And
bottom
it looks
tower
like
is under
EG are going to
attack.
sack the bottom tier too. This means the next time they want to go, if they sack it, Roche is going to be open. No, they're going in. They've got a smoke ready, and get ready for the jump. The arrow flies and completely whips, but they still commit to this. They go straight in on Moo, and now comes the counter initiate. The Ravage is there for Universe to try and bail them out, but Lightstealer just rages through it and keeps on going. He hasn't finished anyone though. Universe is in mid now. The Moonlight Shadow keeps him safe, and they do Arteezy. Happy! Huge on two! Brings down Hal, drops the Lich as well, and now Moo's ult is ended, and they really have nothing. Still in the base, Chow8 dives, and he commits fully, and he gets Arteezy as the trade. And now on the backside, the Death Prophet goes for the retreat out. Too fast, the Sand King can't catch the double burrow, so they look for Song Shung here. A clap, this would do it, with a crit as well. There's a fissure, a knuckle slam. It just doesn't matter. He just gets poked by the nunchuck. And down he
So
goes.
close to blinking out on so many occasions on the Earthshaker, but Mason just kept him on the cooldown with that blink dagger.
They got the Naga, but this is kind of how I feel about that fight. I don't know if you agree with that analysis.
Yeah, it's you know, the thing about this fight from Newbee is that they ended up playing the fight on EG's terms at the end. They did a great positional play here. I'm going to draw a little bit on the minimap here at the bottom to show how they were standing. So they were like at each of these corners of that W or whatever, they had pretty much had a hero standing.
Yeah.
So if you try to initiate into that kind of formation, big AoE ultimates, you'll hit one, maybe two. And the disengage possibilities are always there. The Shaker Fisher from Sansheng was perfect in the counter initiation. So what Newbee accomplished was they got a kill, or at least disengaged through all the teamfight abilities. That's when you reset. You wait out the Brewmaster split. You don't try to force into the fight to get the Naga, because that's when the epicenter comes in from Zai, and they manage to get the fight on their turn.
Okay, so Sid, we're going to see the Brewmaster split coin out for 15. The Ravage for a bit longer. Is this when Newbee should try to force it? Because they're going down mid. They've got their eye on the tier 3.
This is a great call. So many ultimates on cooldown. It's not the longest cooldowns right now for EG, but
the
it
stall
could be
is
enough
ready.
with the tower. This is exactly
There
how
they
they
go.
need to do
They
it
try
now.
to stall with the burrow, but Zai actually catches nothing but creeps. He will draw the wave off, but now they can rage. They can do about half of the tower's HP, make it 2/3, and now retreat. But in comes the Song, and from the rear is Universe. There's still no Ravage for
Epi's
20.
getting ready now.
Now the collapse. Now the Fissure to counter initiate.
Zai's
Epi's
generator is going
Zai is
in.
coming! Straight onto 2. Brings down Chow8, and Moo is dropped low as well. He's got to cyclone himself to try and live through this one. But now he drops down, and they can just focus him. He will suicide, at least preventing them from getting the gold. But still, they're finding kills. They fall back with 2. He's got it available. Banana gets caught. Great arrow from PPD, finding the Lich, getting the kill. And it looks to be just a useless buyback in the end as Arteezy's bottom lane pushing out.
He wasn't even
threatening
there.
another tower. Yeah.
They
Radiant's
didn't even
bottom
need the
tower
Naga,
is
so
under
Arteezy is
attack.
probably going to get a tier 2 tower here, but
Chow8's coming.
maybe not. This could be, it's going to happen again, Arteezy.
Oh no, the
I
stomp!
missed the stomp!
He whiffs the stomp. Is that enough? There's follow-up coming from
Radiant's
Universe. He's got a
bottom
Ravage
tower
now if
is
they
under
need it.
attack.
And Arteezy's just going to keep on retreating out. They're going to disable Chow8 from blinking forward. And now into the pit. He may have to deny himself the road. He gets backed up. They keep him alive. The Naga's still Satan. She stands strong, but not enough. Hal finishes the deed. Should he have gone into the pit like that? I guess that's the question.
I thought he was
Radiant
expecting that he had to
structures
deny
are
himself, but then it turned out he was actually being
Radiant's
kept
bottom
alive by his
tower
team
is
there.
under
But
attack.
It's the chaos of a very stressful match.
if nothing else for Arteezy, he bought a lot of time
Radiant's
for his team up
bottom
top. He
tower
manages
is
to get
falling.
the bottom tower to
Radiant's
tower
top
2 tier,
tower
yep,
is under
and the
attack.
top tier 2 tower as well is taking a lot of damage here from EG. So I would say that Naga sacrifice well worth it for what they got in the trade.
Well, Sangsheng smoked up. They were hoping to find an opening top lane, but in the end, they'll settle for clearing off some creeps and stopping the push. But like you said, a lot of damage was done to the tower. And the big thing for EG is they have still held on to Rax. They don't want to be going down two lanes of Rax this early. If they can at least limit the damage to 1, maybe Newbee takes a big fight mid, they could still come back from 1 lane of Rax. And we haven't seen Newbee go for that second level yet. They are waiting in their jungle, though. They're all pretty congregating fairly close together.
Do they have a smoke?
But they used to play, they do have one in the base, so they've got that to work with.
So they have one.
Oh, in the shop, I should say.
Yeah, they have one in the shop. So one smoke available for the Radiant, for the Dire one as well. And they don't have any on their heroes. So very limited possibilities to go for these ganks at this point. Of course, EG have the advantage being the Miran Ultimate Moonlight Shadow that they can try to set ganks up with, so they don't need a smoke for that. But apart from that, it's going to be very hard for both teams to cross the map and find a gank out of nowhere, basically.
Look at this in. How's actually gone for a Maelstrom, so he's looking for a little extra AoE to take down these illusions. And an item we used to see sometimes on Lifestealer, but generally I'd say it's more in your Abyssal Blade. We see the Armlet, although he opted to skip it this game. But is this a sign that they actually are willing to take it later if they need to?
It's a way of dealing with the illusions for now, but later on it's not going to be enough. Unless maybe their plan is to get more than one Mjolnir and just Mjolnir up a lot of their heroes for that.
He scouted out. How can initiate this one? There is a song available.
Oh,
Silence! Great reactions there. Just clipped him on the boundary of the silence. And Arteezy dies again. 0 and 7.
He is being countered so hard by Newbee. They know exactly what they need to do.
I feel like they had like a probe in his brain.
He still has 215 CS though, in a 28-minute game. With 7 deaths, he's still ahead on CS. That's just...
what a hero.
Incredible.
And I just feel like Newbee know his movement so well. We've seen great aggressive wards. We've also just seen them smoking and just heading his way. Sometimes almost mystifyingly accurate. And now they're going again. Yeah. They can go high ground here. The wave is coming through, and well, Arteezy is up in 13 seconds. The full combination of ultimates is ready, and EG are just leering down at Newbee. Zai, Kudepi, and Universe has Ravage prepared. They're looking for an arrow to start this, and they just go! They go right in with the Ravage. Showing his BKB, and he does get it off. But Ravage is going to use the split as well, and now comes the Epi, but is it enough? Actually, they're too tanky! Counter initiation! Straight from the ES, drives them off. The Naga will rejoin the fight. They'll buy back on the Brew, but they all stand strong. They still have their Doom available. They can pop it now, and they'll do so on Mason after a split. Newbee just don't care. Maybe they should. They'll lose one, but they're overrunning Arteezy. Newbee have taken one lane of Brax. They've lost only a Lifestealer, and they forced out the entire gauntlet of ults. The only one we didn't see was a song, but that doesn't do any damage, Sin.
And a very rare display of miscommunication there from EG. They actually, so Universe jumps in and gets a pretty good Ravage. Zai was late on the epicenter. The way they need to set this fight up is they need to start channeling the Epi, then blink Ravage, and then follow through with the Epi into Burrow Strike. But with how Universe just jumped in and his team wasn't ready, they ended up completely missed the Epi, because he Epi'd a Raging Lifestealer, a BKB Doom, and then he got hit by the edge of the Exorcism, so he didn't even blink into the Death Prophet. So he got pretty much nothing out of his ultimate, and EG cannot afford to make a single mistake like this when they're inside their own base. That's the one piece of pressure that Newbee can definitely put onto them. If the combo doesn't work out properly, the one they drafted, they will lose the base immediately.
And maybe they're just too far behind at this point. I mean, they're only down 5,000 gold, but you look at how Newbee matches up against them through the mid game, and with the Rage on the Lifestealer, the BKB on Doom, and Death Prophet having a Heart and a Bloodstone, you can't really kill any of the cores unless you chain everything perfectly. And the ES is great in this situation as well. You try to jump in, we've seen the fissures to counter initiate. It sounds really easy to get the jump if you're EG, but I mean, how are they going to get it right now? Because maybe you hit an arrow in one, but then there's a fissure to try and remove that follow-up from the fight. And if you go in with Song, Xiaowei can just BKB and the Lifestealer can just Rage, so maybe it's not as easy as we thought for EG to get off a perfect team fight.
Well, definitely not anymore, and the reason is that the Radiant heroes are tanking up as much as they are. So with BKB on Doom, which is of course great against this massive team fight lineup, a Lifestealer with 1650 health, and of course, wait a second, there's going to be a Doom on Universe. He's a goner. But with a Death Prophet who's so tanky, 16 armor and 2800 health, I mean, it's great you've got a heavy AoE-based lineup, but the one weakness Naga has at this point is that she doesn't have single target damage. EG cannot kill. I cannot see them killing the Death Prophet, even if they land all of their ultimates. If there's just one good fissure from Sunshung, they buy enough time for the self-fuel, and they turn.
And they want to see a buyback here from the Tidehunter. They've gone into the Roshan pit, and they've actually got still an Observer Ward in the enemy base. So if EG do try to make a move, they're going to spot it, but it's not even needed. The Rosh just melts and uncontested, in fact. Normally you would not see in an even game, I would say, Newbee wanting to go for that. They're up against too many ways to steal the Aegis, mainly the Song, but they had great map position for that one, and again, these deep wards are setting them up for success.
They are playing this game very, very well. And I think it's, looking forward, should Newbee be able to take this game, it might be a little bit of a...
That's scary, because, I mean...
You know, EG got like almost their dream lineup in this game. And if Newbee beats that one, they could probably beat pretty much any lineup EG would throw at them.
That's how we talked about the beginning of the draft was, man, I can't believe that Newbee gave EG this lineup. It feels like the ultimate EG lineup, and then, oh, they're just running it over right now. Still, it's not over yet.
It's only one lane.
Yeah.
I want to see a second lane of Rax drop before I really think Newbee are taking this game, because Naga always has the comeback potential, but...
And I have to say, Sin, we have not actually seen a great combo team fight from EG. We haven't seen a perfect Epi into Ravage, into Split, into Naga joining the fight with Radiance and Riptide. We've seen a few of those abilities chain together, but we haven't seen the full 5-man complement. Let's see if they...
And that's what they need at this point. They cannot... If they play the fight at like 75% of their potential, I think they lose the game. Every ability has to be chained properly now. They need the right type of initiation and the right timing. And especially, you know, the problem right now is that we're reaching the point now when the Song of the Siren is actually not that good of a setup anymore, since there's the self-fuels on the Death Prophet, there's Rage on Lifestealer and Aegis, and there's the BKB on Doom. So
3 heroes that will not be affected.
That will not be affected at all. That was the initial idea from EG with this draft, and it's just been countered very well with the item choices and overall gameplay from Newbee now. So they are definitely in a great position to winning this game. As I said, though, they will need to take a second lane of Rax to really put themselves in the best possible position, but overall, man, maybe they're looking to do it right now. Looks like they're pushing out the lanes pretty well.
They are getting pretty close to some big items here. Mu is close to a Shiva's Guard if he wants to complete, and How not too far off of an AC, which really helps you to break the base, especially with a Death Prophet. Exorcism does do physical damage, but they just go now, it looks like. They're not going to wait for anything, and now EG, they signal for a wraparound. They've already smoked on PPD and Universe, and that deep ward is gone, so I think they'll actually have a shot here to get the jump. Shall we? He's in close right now, and from the side, PPD is searching for an opening. He's got arrow at the ready. Universe trying to find the right angle of attack, and here he comes. Can he get the Ravage? Look at Sung Chung, he's up on the high ground. It's only Mu they're committing here, and if they go in on him, they've got to kill him quickly. He's brought down pretty low by the start of the fight, but can they finish the job? They net him as well. Arteezy once again being focused. He gets doomed. He's out of the fight, and the Death Prophet's dead, and now the Echo! They turn it! They might even finish him off. Epi, not really catching much, only How. He gets burrowed. Finally, they unleash the Ravage, but Mu still stands, and now the Ghosts return! They return at the final hour! Oh, what an unfortunate fight. They do lose their Aegis, but now they've got round 2, and EG couldn't do the job. If Newbee just wait for that Exorcism to go back in. I don't know what there is, but they go back in now, they try to clean up some, they'll find him. Great Burrow Strike in from Zai, and they lose the ES, and that will sound the retreat for Newbee. For now at least, EG do hold the line, but they had to buy back here on their Naga. And Arteezy's economy is frankly in shambles, Sind.
This is around the time when Arteezy in a good Naga game will usually have Radiance, Boost of Travel, Manta, and Heart. And maybe we're working on the Diffusal. He is very far behind his regular farming speed here. 1.5 items, basically, I would say. So Newbee have definitely been farming him well. It is hard to get good farm with 9 deaths, I have to say, though. So I guess he's kind of excused in this case.
And he is still farming pretty well. He's at like 8 ICS a minute. I'd say a really good Naga game, you'll see over 10, maybe even 12, 13, but he's still farming pretty damn well for a standard carry hero, and with all the deaths, it's just not enough.
And I would definitely agree with the call for Newbee here, should just be to go immediately again, but looks like they didn't do enough lane control, because else Exorcism is coming off cooldown now, and they might actually have been able to break the base to the bottom lane. There's a minute cooldown on Ravage.
Epi's got 30.
Epi 30.
They could be going right now.
Yeah. If they were already bottom with their heroes, this would be a lane of Rax. But
PPD wants to find this ward. He's going to throw an arrow through.
Oh,
the swing gets
didn't get it.
The funny part is the ward's about to expire anyway, but you got to love that commitment. Anything to kill it off.
Oh, he found it.
Finally, he'll find the right angle. It's those little things.
50 gold.
That's how they'll turn their economy around. It starts with the D-warding, man. Oh, they're getting those next items that I mentioned. The Shivas is about to come out of Mu, and with Frost Armor, I mean, he's got to be sitting like 30 plus armor at least. Courier coming in, AC delivered as well. They're just getting to that point where even if Naga gets the farm, I don't actually think it's going to hurt that much.
I think Mu would benefit a lot from selling his Town Portal Scroll and buying a cloak. When you look at how these fights are developing and how big of part of the damage from EG is magical. If he has a cloak, he's pretty much immortal now. That extra magic resistance works wonders right now. It even works against the Radiance. So
Yeah, EG is still...
they were pretty close to killing him before. With a cloak, it doesn't happen.
Yeah. I guess the other option is you just go straight BKB and just run at them and say, come at me, Arteezy.
Well, I think he wants them to go on him, right?
Yeah.
That's what set up the previous fight. So he can bait them, and actually he will force them to do it by just standing there with Exorcism, and EG have no alternative way of initiating than casting spells.
They even have a Vlad's on Sangshan. They have a lot of armor on this team. Maybe too much, if there's such a thing. Well, for now, EG just sit back and hope for some time to catch up. And we do have a lot of farm on the other heroes. You're looking at quite a big Sand Cane, getting close to a BKB now. Universe, Refresher, he's in the ballpark. He can buy the Perseverance and just needs the recipe from there. Or
Same
just
for Brew.
Yeah. So their other 4 heroes are getting items. Arrow will find Moo, but not something that they actually want to go on.
So now they will be pushing again with all the ultimates of EG available. We'll see if they can manage to get the Rax this time. If they kill off Arteezy, it's probably a lane of Rax, if not game.
He has no buyback for 2 minutes. And then
here we go.
That Prophet going to deploy the ultimate. There is a glyph available, and you'll see Zai back off. Keep your eyes on the Sand King, because they need a big epi to take this. Universe also in position, and Newbee once again with a nice spread, and they go straight on the Death Prop. They're going to take it. Xiao 8 now, Shiva's in forward. Not going to use the Doom yet, just running in and driving EG back. They give up the tier 3. The range Rax begins to take damage, and now the Moonlight Shadow. The Song's there, and do they even want to go in for this? There's no counter pressure. The Song's been used for naught, and EG is just going to, well, stall, I guess. They do have the level 3 Song now, so it's only a 1-minute cooldown.
Yeah, we're gonna see Newbee probably waiting for Exorcism to come off cooldown again and then go one more time. And since they didn't lose anything, I mean, why wouldn't they do it again? They just need to not get caught off now, as EG will be trying to go for a counter initiate of their own. But I think Newbee are aware that this is happening, and if they aren't, they might only lose 1 hero. But,
and so, the only one they were going to find maybe is the ES, but he's even hidden in the trees, and they don't know he's there. Moo continues just running towards the base, and Xiao 8 will as well. And in the end, EG, do they find someone? They do find Xiao 8. Can he be a time? He's too slow. Now they go in. Everything's thrown out at Xiao 8. The clap, the arrow. It's a much-needed kill for EG. At long last, they find something without having to give something else up.
But there's no Roshan for them to take off this kill, and even then, oh, actually, there wouldn't have been a buyback on Doom, so they could have probably been able to actually get the Roshan off of that. But
is it going to respawn soon, though?
Yeah, maybe they get lucky. We'll see in a second. 1 minute.
It's just enough time for Xiao 8 to respawn, but maybe not enough to get there. EG just aren't the best road lineup. Like,
no, they can't do it fast enough anyway. There's the refresher on Brew.
The Brew's got a refresher, and they're behind the Naga, to be honest. Echo Slam, bottom lane, but PPD actually dodged it.
Oh, great Force Staff
and he's gonna live. They committed a lot for that kill. It was the gem carrier for EG though, and if they lose that gem, they lose quite a bit of map control. So you can see why they throw an Echo Slam out to try and secure it.
Yeah, it's not like they're going to be pushing in the next minute and a half anyway. With Xiao 8 dead and them needing to push out the lanes first, the Echo Slam will be available again. So worth going for the try there from Sansheng, with great reaction coming out from PPD. Now, Newbee will, you know, as long as they're just pushing out the lanes and Arteezy isn't accomplishing too much in the side lanes, I don't think they were too worried about this, but
he is getting closer.
EG are still stalling. Like, they still manage to only lose one side, and if they stall long enough, they'll have a glyph again.
I mean, at some point, you're going to have double Ravage. You've already got the double split. In fact, I think he's almost got the refresher on the Tide. He's very close.
He needs another 800.
Like, yeah, 800, 1,000 gold, something like that. At that point, the BKBs can only be used once, right? So, well, the BKB and the Rage. And from there, maybe you can just finish someone during the second Ravage.
Newbee scouting out Roche. They know he's spawned now with with Moo. Using the Shiva's guard.
And now a smoke. Newbee are making their move down
looking
mid.
for it. The Infest Bomb into
Do they have
duo.
any vision? Not really. PPD might get caught, but honestly, if you just lose your Mirana, that's probably a blessing in disguise that it's not a more important hero. And EG are sitting on quite a few buybacks as Newbee wrap around. They're going to blink up to the high ground. They drop an Observer Ward here, and they keep on moving. They still haven't been scouted out. Universe now, he senses it, and he blinks out. Actually,
no, he's actually farming.
It's just in the Ancients. They could find him now. Oh, this could be wise.
Oh, the fissure!
Oh, he gets him! He gets him at the last second. Now the enchant totem. There's no one to back him up. They're just going to have to sack Universe. He can head to the left, though, and try and stall this. The Shiva comes in. Now they silence him, and the Kraken Chill immediately removing this. Now a secondary Shivas, and down he goes. It's a double Shivas for Newbee.
A lot of time though. RTZ is currently split pushing top, so I think Newbee might be able to get Roshan here, but definitely not going to put any pressure on any barracks just yet.
And
they have to go back actually. RTZ already got this tower down to half.
I mean, they could glyph for the tower, but then you use no glyph for your actual racks. And they will glyph now. So they're going to take the Roche. Depth Capital not being used. They really want to reserve it. And as a result, the TP's out will go. Do EG make their move into the pit? PPD, he looks with an arrow. Will it connect to fight Xiao 8? Oh no! Just at the last second is their follow-up for this. They've got an epi. They do have the Veil, but they don't want to walk into that pit. Not against the big bad Doom.
So Roche for Glyph and almost tier 3?
It's almost dead, yeah.
This is a little scary because this kind of small opening will eventually turn into a bigger opening with Arteezy also getting the tier 2 mid. If they make any misstep now on their push and Arteezy is top, they might be able to get a lane of barracks off just ravaging heroes who try to TP home or using Burrow Strike or something like that. So now the pressure is starting to be a little bit on Newbee here. I don't think they accomplished enough. I think if they would have played this more aggressively, they might have taken the bottom racks as well.
You look at that.
And this is why one lane of racks is not enough against none.
That bottom fight, everything got used by EG, and they could have waited for Exorcism and then gone back in, and it would have only been split online. They had no epi, and they had no Ravage for 40 seconds. There was no glyph, but they didn't take that opportunity. They backed off. They said, let's farm for our next set of items. I wonder if that's going to end up costing Newbee this game. For now, they are technically still in the lead, like 8k gold, 10k experience, but Dota it's one of those weird competitive ventures where the numbers don't mean as much as others. There's a bit of whack-a-mole in the woods. Xiao 8 blinking in, the Brew blinking out. Nobody will find an opening. And you could be down 10k gold and still strategically be in the lead. And I wouldn't say EG's in the lead, but it's pretty close to even right now.
Yeah, and Arteezy doing a little more chip damage. This tier 3 actually almost able to claim it here, down to 100 health. We might see Newbee denying it, or no, they're going to hold on to it just to buy that little bit of extra time should the push come.
So Perseverance for Moo. What are we looking at here, Sin?
Refresher?
Can you... So you don't get 2 sets of ghosts?
No, he can use them in succession.
Okay.
They don't stack, but judging from how these fights have gone so far, I think it's actually the best item he could get, because it's all about keeping the pressure on. EG seem to be able to extend the fights so long that Exorcism ends, but if he has another one...
Maybe that's his trump card.
It's the counter to the Refresher Brew.
I guarantee you the number of times Refresher has been built on Death Prophet is very low, just because normally with this hero, the game ends by that point, one way or the other. But they're taking it late. Newbee playing the long game here, and not pushing in the mid lane, but already EG playing a bit of pressure. But unfortunately, it's not with the Naga. The Naga's actually top, and that lane's not pushed out, which means if Newbee won, they can go through the mid and wrap towards bottom. But do they do it? They're actually focusing illusions. The open wounds won. And this will buy EG a few precious seconds.
Traveling bottom. This team cannot get back to base.
Oh, how much will we commit for this? They can go for the range. They'll clean that up. Now Moo will pop his ult. And we might have a good old-fashioned base trade on our hands. Arteezy working out another lane. In comes the Epi. Connects. Cleans up too. Light Stealer coming back though. Now the counter echo, but it's really not doing much in this fight. Your Shade Frost keeps on bouncing for now, but it really hasn't done enough. While Arteezy begins to demolish the base. The tier 3 is falling bottom. He's working on the top as well. They're going to buy back on the dupe, and they catch Hal retreating out. Caught by a Burrow. Now Clap and forced to fight. Can he win this one? He gets arrow too. He's been chain stunned for days. They didn't actually break racks, but they broke 2 tier 3s, and they continue pursuit. Hal on the run. Zai blinking the wrong way, and this might allow Newbee to get out. But they're just one good fight away from taking that next lane of racks in, and they're looking for top. In fact, Arteezy strikes back with the illusions. The top racks are down, and the way lies open.
I was sure the game was going to end the moment Arteezy Boots have traveled bottom. It meant his team was defending without the Naga. There was an Aegis on Lifestealer. They were at the racks, and Arteezy easily can't split push as fast as all of the Radiant heroes combined in the base. But
that team fight is just so devastating.
Excellent Ravage usage from Universe, and the perfect epi with the Veil of Discord secured them that fight in combination with, of course, the Brewmaster split from Mason. So incredible defense. EG basically defended 3 against 5, I guess. There was the entirety of Newbee were there. So they defend 3 against 5, they get a melee racks, and now it's starting to get scary. Look at that dip in the gold as well. Wow.
Yeah, Arteezy is getting there. He picks up the Lincoln Sphere, so now just a little bit harder to focus down in these fights. And Shiva's being used. They're going to blink in, but they try to find him. He actually heads south and just Newbee
Song of the Siren.
They're setting up, but oh no, he's just stalling. He's just buying time here. It's going to have a 1-minute cooldown. Now he looks to run south. And Newbee say, no song, we're going mid. Do they try for a thrown it situation?
They don't have any creep. Oh, they have creep support. Never mind. They have one wave.
Is that enough though? Already RTZ heads towards the bottom while the team retreats to the base. And they're going to have a Ravage in 30. And Moose says, we're throning it. Screw it. We've had quite enough. And in they go with the Sand Cage. Trying to slow this initiation down. The tier 4 is still healthy.
Oh, Bro just got wrecked!
He gets wrecked. And now they look for more. They doom Universe. They're going to bring him out of the fight while RTZ works on mid. But Moo has his eyes on the prize. And he's got the refresher that he needs to keep this push going. RTZ, I don't think he does it fast enough here, Sid. Zai with the Epi, but now the Echo to turn it. Joey caught out, and it's time for Death Prophet ult number 2. Moo's still there. Ravage is going to bring him low. They've got a secondary Ravage, and they'll let it go. Moo, low, not dead yet, and Hal stands there with him, side by side. Can they do it together? Doesn't look like it. Moo, maybe he can. He's still living. The arrow from PPD! It saves the day! And now they saw him. They're going to reset. They look for Banana, but they lost 2 tier 4s for this. PPD might have just saved EG's game 1. That arrow, they needed it to hit.
What an extremely expensive base defense. Though they do hold on, but they used 3 buybacks. They lost 2 tier 4s, and they didn't even get the trade. I thought Artesia was at least going to get a lane of racks off that, but he didn't manage. The glyph wasn't even used by Newbee here, so easily a big advantage for them being able to take the fight like that. When is the glyph available for the Dire? 1.5 minutes
you know, the
before
thing
they
is,
have the glyph.
He went for a Lincoln, and this item does not help you push very much. I'm not saying it's a bad item, but in that situation, if you need the base trade, this is not the item you'd want. You'd love to have a butterfly, maybe a heart, so illusions are quite a bit tankier, but he's kind of slow on the siege for a Naga at 49 minutes in.
Speaking of siege, it is happening right now, but I don't know if he's going to be successful. He actually does a nice split here with the illusion, some going bottom, some going top. Will force out the glyph.
I don't know if Newbee
The range barracks will fall. So he gets one lane.
One
a
step
little
closer.
bit of pressure.
It's a naked throne, but it's a Rax advantage now. And this is the kind of territory where, well, if you're Newbee, you might be just looking for an all-down mid kind of play.
Naga likes this kind of game a lot.
Well, we're getting a heart now on our Lifestealer. This Lifestealer did not have a good start, if we recall for how. He didn't play poorly, but he struggled. Now he's suddenly reached max inventory status. Look for the boots of travel into the base, though. The top lane's pushing, and they might just be going all in. Illusions are streaming towards it. Some in the jungle, trying to farm, but most headed down mid.
Yeah, the top range barracks is actually going to fall to the siege unit itself. There's no intention from Newbee to defend this. They're going for the GG here. They will have 2 ultimates from the Death Prophet.
waiting to meet them. Here comes the Death Prophet. Straight on in. The burrow comes through, but Death Prophet gets off the ult. And now the Brewmaster, look how quickly he's going to drop. They doom Universe, and they chase him out. The Brewmaster just explodes, and there's no Naga in the base. Newbee, straight for the jugular, onto the throne. They've got to stall this push. They'll buy time with an Epi. Zai barely gets it off, and Hal cleans him. There's still no counter push. Arteezy tries to fight it head on, but he just can't do it. Now the glyph, they keep on stalling. No song for 30, and it's time for Exorcism number 2. Moo gets caught by the Ravage, but the Ghost fight through that. They Ravage him again. They've got to finish him off. He's right close. The throne, it drops low. It falls! And Newbee find a way. They break through the Arteezy Naga, and they take game 1. They're 1 game away from a Grand Finals berth after nearly failing to make the playoffs.
They just did so well in all stages of this game. Pretty much the